Hello everyone, welcome to my show Brave New World. My name is Azmi Sharom, and this week I'll be speaking to you about something, well, it's not homegrown, yeah? We're looking further afield. We're looking to Europe. So let's not say that Brave New World is a little frog hiding under our coconut shell. About a year ago, the Western world was in a bit of a tizzy because it seemed that the far right was gaining ground tremendously, and there was going to be a huge seismic shift in the politics in the Western world. And of course, when Trump won, everybody thought it's the end of the world as we know it.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
But in Europe, it appears that things have moved away from the right and towards the left. But is this really the case? Just going to look at some of the things that's been happening over there. In particular, 3 elections, the one in Holland, the one in France, and the one recently in the UK. Okay? But before we go into the left versus right debate, let's take some lessons from the UK elections. What lessons can we learn from there? Well, the first one is beware of hubris. Okay. It was hilarious. I mean, like, the reason why Theresa May called for a snap election she said was not going to happen, was because she thought she was so popular and she was so beloved that she was going to sweep the whole thing, and they were going to get a huge majority, right? I mean, there were some people in the Conservative Party who thought that with this election, they were going to increase their majority by over 100 seats. I mean, like Jeremy Corbyn, as much as people laugh at him, he and the Labour Party, they clawed their way back. And although they lost, what they did was they reduced the majority of the Conservatives to the point that now they have to be friends with the DUP, the DUP, right? The Northern Irish Party, a party which doesn't believe in evolution, doesn't believe there's climate change, doesn't believe in human rights for LGBT communities. So how the mighty have fallen. So if there's anything to be learned there, man, all politicians, well, all of us, hubris.
Three's a successful candidate.
But anyway, back to our topic at hand. Is there a shift towards the left now in Europe? You know, a kind of like a backlash to the backlash of the right wing? Maybe, because, you know, one can't deny the fact that in Holland and in France, the choices that were faced by the people in these countries were quite stark. I mean, Wilders in Holland and Le Pen in France, these people were clearly very, very far right. Some would say borderline fascist, definitely racist, you know, and so there was this clear distinction.
Celebrated across the EU.
The choice that was available for the people of these two countries was also very clear, and they decided to go for Wert and for Macron. But the thing is, Wert and Macron are not really left politicians, yeah? Macron was a banker, for goodness sake. He wants to introduce laws which would effectively give emergency powers to the government of France, even though there's no emergency. That's not a lefty thing to do. The current leader of Holland, for example, is a centrist. He's not a left-winger as such. This was the choices that were faced by the people of these two countries. For them, there was no choice. Either you hang on to your principles of liberalism and human rights, or you give in and let the right do whatever they want.
Likely breathing a sigh of relief.
In Britain, it's a bit more sophisticated than that. I don't think the choice was as drastic as what you had in Holland and France, because, you know, as much as I dislike the Tory party, they didn't quite reach the level of Le Pen's National Front or Wilders' party. They didn't quite get to that level of, I don't know, wickedness. So it was not that simple a choice, I think. And this is where the left in Britain did the right thing, because they did not depend purely on philosophy and political ideology, right? They gave the people a choice regarding their day-to-day lives. Their manifesto actually faced down and challenged the unpopular policies of the Conservative Party. what lessons can we learn here? Well, firstly, I think the most important thing is, no matter how great you think your philosophy is, no matter how evil you think your opponent is, you better have a plan. You better have some sort of idea as to how you're going to make lives better for the people.
And I'm sorry.
Now, the second one, well, if we look at France and Holland in particular, when they were faced with such a dilemma between the candidates for the top leadership in their country, I think they went back to the principles which they hold dear, right? And in this case, these principles are of civil liberties, of pluralism, and a more embracing type of democracy. The question is, if faced with that kind of choice, what kind of values do Malaysians fall back upon? That's a big question. And it's a sad question because really, I don't know what our values are. What do you think are the values of this country? What makes us what we are? Are we more than just different races in different boxes? Do we have some greater ideology, some greater aspiration? You tell me. You tell me what you think it is, or better still, what you think it should be. And you can do this on YouTube or Facebook. Bye-bye.